Hey everybody, welcome to Technical Training. My name is RJ Redden. I'll be walking you through this, making 3 videos, so make sure you watch all 3. One is strictly for phone calls, one is strictly for chats, and one is everything else you need to know to be in this absolutely lovely community. So without further ado, my friends, let's go ahead and get started. So what you're looking at right now is going to be on the Recovering from Religion homepage. Right now, we have a lot of resources listed on our, we have basically our projects listed on our homepage. We want to take that interface and make it really, really easy to find what you need, really, really right away. And so there will be some paragraphs of explanation about who we are and what we do up here on the top, but our homepage is going to look like this. We've got 2 groups, 2 types of support that people generally seek from us. One is peer support, which you're seeing right here, and then of course professional support. So the professional support implies paid. The peer support is, peer-to-peer, the free stuff. And so that's kind of how we organize that. One of the things we were going for in this new system was to be incredibly user-friendly. We just do not want to confuse people, make them look for things. Those days are over. So this is what people are going to see from the front end. We wanted to list the resources also in order that we thought people would be looking for them. First up, obviously, the calls. Hello. So this is 184 I Doubt It, which is, of course, is now and has always been our number. And so I'm going to cover what happens when somebody calls. This is what the front end looks like. The back end is going to be in a program that I know you're all very familiar with called Slack. So what I'm going to do now is I have a test phone number set up. I'm going to call in and I'm going to show you what this looks like on the back end. So I'm going to show you, of course, the user will see nothing but this. I'm going to show you, though, what's going to be happening on the back end right now. And that is, this is the live calls channel. So what we're working with is what's called third-party software. What this software does is take our phone calls and pump them directly into Slack. This system is very, very, very much a low-cost system compared to what we have, and it'll allow us to answer the phone calls from right in Slack. So without further ado, I'm going to use my phone. Right now, I'm calling a test number. I'm not calling the number, just because that, of course, will lead to our regular hotline stuff. As of May 1st is when we want to do a soft launch of this system. This means that everything will be live, and then June, we're going to publicize it. So June 1st is our hard launch. So this is what you're going to see on the volunteer end. This is our third-party stuff. It's called Yodel. It's nice. You can look at it if you want, but it's not necessary. Immediately, you're going to get the phone number, which you're not going to necessarily need, but you're also going to get this click to answer online helpline calls. That's the very first message that you get. And then all consequent messages, waiting for less than 20 seconds, waiting for half a minute, waiting for less than a minute. This is the message that you're going to get. It's always identified by the particular phone number that's being called. So you can see this is my phone number right here. You can identify which call it is. In the case of multiple callers at once, which is a problem that I desperately hope that we develop. But you'll see the phone number kind of identifies it. So what happens on the user end during all of this? What people hear when they call into us, the first thing that they're going to hear is a welcome message. And, welcome, hey, you're in the right place, that kind of information. And then they're also going to get the information that is here on the homepage. So in that welcome message, we kind of go through, if you want to, you can schedule a call. If you want to, you can chat. You can also look at our online resources, a vast array, by the way. And you can also find a group, or if you're looking for a secular therapist. So basically what we're doing is we're letting them know, just in case they didn't, if they were, listening and heard a commercial on the radio about us and just decided to call the number, we want to make sure that they know that this page exists and that that's where to find all of our stuff. So they get a welcome message, they get a little bit of outline of these things. Then there's some music lag time. We're going to have the lag time, we're stretching it out to the furthest we can, which is 6 minutes. So we've got 6 minutes to answer these phone calls live. There will be music during that 6 minutes. And then they get a message at the end of that says, all of our agents are busy right now, so sorry. And then we guide them back to scheduling a call, or perhaps looking up our resources, or we could just kind of go through that again. Go to recoveringfromreligion.org and you'll be able to find these things. So after that, there will be a beep, and some people do leave voicemails for us. Don't worry necessarily about answering those voicemails. We have a kind of a secondary, we have agents in the helpline volunteer community, but we also have hosts. Hosts are people who kind of walk the halls and make sure that everybody gets where they're going and that nobody falls through the cracks, because we know that was a huge issue with the old system. So the hosts are going to take care of if somebody leaves a voicemail for us on the hotline. So don't worry too much about that. So let's go back. Let's go back to the back end here. And so this is what we see. We have the phone number, which is our identifier, and then here's where you click to answer. Before I show you what happens when we have somebody answer, I want to talk a little bit about how to answer a phone call. Just the technical side. Again, the reflective listening type training. That's not me, which that's good, because I wouldn't know the first thing about that. But so the technical aspect of answering a call. We want you to answer calls just from your computer, if you can. Reason being, if you happen to answer in a busy coffee shop or where the sound is hard, as good as your intentions are, we want it to sound very professional. So make sure you're at your computer, you're in a quiet place, you are ready to take a call. Okay, so let's talk about how to answer a call. So let me just introduce you to what's happening here. I've done a test call here in this area. And what you're going to see is the first message. It's called the origination message. You don't have to remember that. Just remember this blue snowflake and the yodel appears. This is the third-party software that we're using, and this is just the message the first message that comes with everything. Now, this first message is important for a reason, because we need you to mark it to let everybody know behind you that this call is taken. We do have the ability on this system to have extra people listening in on calls for mentorship purposes, things like that. But on a regular basis, we won't be doing that. On a regular basis, 90% of the time, we're going to need our volunteers to indicate in some way that this call has been taken. Do not hop on behind me. So here's how we would like you to do this. So my mouse is hovering over this first message here. Again, the first message always has the blue snowflake and the yodel here. How we want to indicate to everybody else that this call is taken, you go over here. When you hover over it with your mouse, there should be a little bit of I don't know if you can see that, but kind of a gray line highlighting the message. Roll over here to add reaction. It's a plus sign on top of a smiley face. And just go ahead and add a reaction. Green check mark, probably the very best thing. Probably the best thing. You can use a different one if you want, but use the green check mark just for simplicity's sake. We love simplicity. And that's what we need you to do to let everybody know behind you that this phone call has been answered. Now, some other stuff does come up. I'm just going to go over that for a second. This busy at the moment message shows up, and it has these couple of boxes, respond with and send a voicemail. I would love you to ignore that message. We are not going to be handling phone calls that way. That's just the software again. That's what they do. But do ignore this respond with and send a voicemail. It doesn't matter to you at all. Then the rest of the messages, waiting for less than 20 seconds, waiting for half a minute, waiting for less than a minute. That's just telling you how long the caller has been waiting. We've got 6 minutes between when they call in and when we can answer. That's how much time we have to answer each phone call. And again, with this, you missed the call message, call back, never use this button. This is worthless to you. We will not be calling back people through this mechanism. A, we don't have permission. B, we don't know who to ask for. So please just ignore this line as well. What we really want you to pay attention to is the first message. We want you to indicate that you've taken it by hitting the reaction, again, the +, smiley face combination on Slack. And then we want you to answer the phone call by clicking on this blue line. Click to answer online, helpline calls. When you click on that, a screen will appear. And I'm going to show you that in just a sec here. And of course, answering a call, let's see what that looks like. We'll click on that blue link that prints below every single one. A screen like this will come up. When the call is live, this answer in the middle will be blinking green. There will be no question as to where to go to answer this call, my friends. And so since the call is already ended, of course it's going to have this ended up here. But when there's a live call, there won't be any message here and answering will be right there. So we are not using the share or the forward button at this time. That might come into use later on, but right now, just the answer panel, that middle section, is what we want you to do. Now, going back for a second to the Slack team, it is possible for an agent to see, this is where people leave us messages, and obviously it recorded my voice accidentally, so ignore this, please. Okay, so it is possible if it is possible for people to jump on behind you. We are going to use that functionality occasionally. We know that there's mentoring and stuff going on, and so occasionally it will be a thing where somebody actually does take the call, but they want somebody to jump on behind them. That is something that we will be using, but in order to not, most of the time you're not going to want somebody to jump on behind you. Make sure, once again, to star that original message for us. That will make it super clear this bad boy is taken. So that's all well. Love all that. Now I want to show you where you're going to give us a little bit of a report. We are asking for a report. You're looking at the back end of the website here. We're asking for a report on every single call, on every single chat. Now, what we did was we kind of stripped down the old reports. We wanted to really just ask you the stuff that we absolutely need to know. The stuff that we're asking on here is just kind of all about what the flavor of the call was, who's taking the call, obviously, a couple sentences, a brief summary. We're talking 1 to 3 sentences here. Don't write a book. If you want to write a book, great. But we're looking for 1 to 3 sentences here. And then we're asking you, what are the other resources that you sent them to? Reason being, we want to be able to, at the end of the month, scan a spreadsheet and say, we answered 30 calls last month. We answered 23 chats last month. We want to be able to gather this information so that we can take it to the people that we are, looking at for fundraising, so that we can give that to our marketing folks, and then they can take that and publicize it as well and let everybody know, people are being helped by the system. Please support our helpline. So that's the reason for the questions. Super easy, just yes or a no here. Anything else you'd like to report? Hey, if something sticks out to you, fantastic. Go ahead and talk about that. That's wonderful. So I've been asked a lot of questions about process-wise, are there going to be shifts? The answer is, as we begin this process, there will not be shifts. We've decided this because we know how disheartening it is to look at a shift schedule and see nobody taking them. Also, it's kind of hard for people to say, yep, I can totally sit by my computer or my phone for 2 hours, next Wednesday night or whatever. People's time availability differs. It also differs for our international volunteers. So their waking hours are not our waking hours. And maybe they could take a shift in the middle of the night, which would be in the middle of their day. We wanted to leave this open. We wanted to leave this open so that people can jump in when they're available and get the maximum return on their effort, meaning we don't want you filling out 1,000 administrative things and learning complex systems. We want you to talk to people who are on the spectrum somewhere with doubting their religion, or we want you to be able to talk to the people you want to be able to talk to. So that's why we set this up the way that it is. Here's the call report. You hit submit. That all goes to a spreadsheet on the back end that board members can take a look at. So there won't be any shifts. We do want you to log in and out of the Slack team, and I'll cover that in the next video, in the chat video. But yeah, it's a log in and see what's going on. Slack is very versatile as to when and where you receive your notifications. If you have any trouble setting that stuff up, and you kind of can't find anything, if you get in too many notifications or none at all, and you'd want that to change and you can't figure out how to do that, ping me, ping Susie. We will be able to teach you how these things go. And that's really it, my friends. That's really it for the calls. So stay tuned for the next video, which is how to answer a chat. And then, of course, the third video will be everything else. It will be all of the other things that we have going on. And just a little addendum here at the end. A lot of people have been asking where to find the helpline report. If you ever lose track of the link, just want you to go right up here in the helpline volunteer team. Go right up to the top here and hover over the description. We've got 2 links there for you. One of them, the first one, is the helpline report. The second link is, of course, our homepage, where people can schedule a call, get resources, find a group, chat. So if you ever lose the link as to where that helpline report is, just look in this top part here, hover over the group description, and you'll get a link to the hotline report as well as to the recoveringfromreligion.org homepage. So hope that helps, and happy volunteering.